Hello and welcome to Learn It from a Layman. I am Carl Christensen. I'm back with Matt and Tim. I run all the podcasts, Cox.
Yes, I do.
Which is not reflected in how much Tim gets paid.
It's purely a pro bono.
That could also be the title of the podcast. All right. Well, today Tim is going to take us on a wild ride. Tim, tell us what you're doing and why.
Okay. Well, that's more latitude than people give me usually.
That's true.
This is episode 100, and so in kind of honor of our 100th episode, we are going to circle back to where we started. And those of you who are faithful, diehard, Learn It from a Layman fans, all four of you will know.
What's wrong with you guys?
Yeah, that's right. Come on, you got to get out more. But you will know that our first episode we ever did was the 10 worst ways to die in nature, and it was a harrowing walk down the gallery of terrors, ways that you could be killed in nature, and very fascinating and also morbidly,
morbid.
Interesting. Yes.
By definition, it was morbid.
That's right. It's a thing. So for our 100th episode, we are going to return to that theme, but from a different angle. Oh, by the way, stick around. We're planning for our 1000th episode, a big episode on denture cream flavors. So stay tuned.
If anyone is listening to our podcast at 1,000 episodes, it's some type of torture going on.
It's going to be awesome. We'll all be living in the same rest home, just with some recording equipment and yes. But anyway, right. So here's the scenario. You have been kidnapped by vicious, bloodthirsty, homeopathic pirates. They take no prisoners. And so they tell you that they will be dispatching you immediately. But they enjoy sport, and so they're going to let you choose your means of death. Since they're homeopathic pirates, they will not engage in any man-made means of death. And so they give you a list of 100% natural means of death from which you can choose. So here you guys go. You ready for your list? Now, yes. Also, because they enjoy sport and they've gotten kind of bored of it, we're dispensing with traditional pirate means of death like walk the plank and drown and marooning. Also, keel hauling. And you can't do keel hauling anyways because that's man-made and breaks with the strict code of the homeopathic pirate. But so here's the list. Dying in your sleep. Though actually, we're going to get rid of that one because that one is just too boring. So
wait, it's on the list or not? You just said it's on the list, followed by we're getting rid of that one.
Well, let's just starting with
number 2.
That's right. Oh, Johnny, you're in for a treat tonight. Okay, so yeah, I'm taking my runner-up number 11, and we're bumping out in your sleep. So in your sleep is sleeping with the fishes and not on the list. So we'll replace it with clicked to death by a sperm whale. That's option 1. Option 2, meteorite strike. Option 3, death by tortoise shell. Option 4, death by fall. Option 5, thrown to a volcano. Option 6, freezing to death. Option 7, stampede. Option 8, rock slide. Option 9, death by jaguar. And option 10, python.
I think we need to have the cuddling one.
Bees?
Yeah.
So are we supposed to just guess which ones, or are you going to talk through them in order and then we'll give you our preference at the end?
Well, you
No,
guys go ahead and state your preferences. But as you listen to the homeopathic pirates, you pull out your handy field guide and you notice that these are the 10 best ways to die in nature. And you're like, wow. And so, but they also inform you that some of them have been taken, so they ask you to give them a rank list of your preferences, and then you can go from there. They're very agreeable, for killing these homeopathic pirates.
I mean, they are killing you, so I don't know how agreeable they are.
Yeah, well,
Okay.
So yeah, go ahead and talk it out, rank them, and then I will give you guys the skiffy.
Okay, wait. So we've got clicked
answer.
to death. Got clicked to death, meteorite strike, tortoiseshell.
Wait,
death
what
by
was
fall?
the tortoiseshell thing? I'm not sure I understand that, or that's meant to be understood.
Somebody
That sounds
hits you with the tortoiseshell.
very unnatural
Did you
for
eat
nature.
the tortoiseshell and cause a bowel obstruction, and now you're dying from a bowel obstruction? Tortoiseshell?
Oh, that just sounds rough. Oh. Well, I'll go ahead and give you a little information. The story goes that Aeschylus, a great Greek playwright, if I'm not mistaken, was killed by a falling tortoiseshell. I'll tell you more of that story later, but that's what you need to know.
Falling tortoiseshell. Okay. What was after volcano? I think I need the last couple here.
Freeze to death.
Freeze. Okay.
Stampede. Choose your hoofed mammal. Rock slide. Jaguar. Large South American apex predator.
Okay. Yes.
And python.
Everybody in Jacksonville just stopped listening to us now.
Jaguars. Dang it.
Now everyone just stopped listening to us. Okay. All right. I gotta give this a whirl here. So, I'd imagine I'm gonna go top down. Like the best way to die has to be volcano.
Okay.
Because, well, I guess we should define here. Johnny disagrees right away. Wait. But we need definition here, because if we're talking about like the ash and like, small bits of, brimstone falling on you, sure, nobody wants that. But if it's like, here comes a lake of lava, then embrace your fate.
Imagine Anakin Skywalker.
Yeah,
he had a
that's
great
right.
time.
Hey, he turned out to be one of the most successful villains of all time.
Yeah. If you look at
is this like, I mean, what's the point here? Are we just looking to off ourselves quickly, or are we looking at this as the jumping off point for our own villain origin story?
That's right. Do you want to actually survive your homeopathic pirate execution?
Speaking again, hearkening back to our first podcast. In our first podcast, we had death by like large jungle cat, and now we have death by jaguar. You can't have it both ways, Tim.
Well,
it's either good or bad.
I will go ahead and reveal some of the behind the scenes. As I was going through these and trying to think, okay, what are if you're gonna have to die out in nature, what would be the most painless way to do it? But then I was like, you've got to have some representation from predators. And so I said, okay, out of all the predators, which ones would be the best ones to go with? And so I picked those two as representatives, just to have a couple of predators. And that's why they're at the end, because,
Okay. All right. Well, I think that volcano is probably number one, if I can define it as a lake, like a pool, a river of lava coming at me. What was that, Johnny?
Being struck by a meteor? That's got to be like number one,
That's
right?
true.
Yeah, I'd put that as my number one also.
Kablooey, you're gone.
All right. I can see that. Freezing could be nice too, though.
Freezing could be nice.
I mean, sure. Like at the beginning, it would be pretty lame, but by the end, you'd be having a good time.
Well,
hypothermia sets in. You think you're
I don't
warm.
know that's ever a good time. It's more like just less of a bad time than you're aware of.
That's
Right.
true.
Yeah, rock slide seems like a pretty bad way to go. It's like the earth decided to stone you. I always thought stoning seems pretty, medieval. So,
But it's like a million stones that people can't carry all at once that just take you out.
I guess if there's just one big boulder that gets you real quick, sure. But
that's not a slide.
Yeah, I'm thinking like small rocks, like it'd be like, painful, bludgeoning. So
yeah,
could be pretty bad. So clicked to death sounds
What
bad.
What do we mean by clicked to death? That sounds not real.
So this and there are a couple on here that have not been documented as actually having happened, and they clicked to death.
Okay, that's.
But let me. So the sperm whale click is so powerful and so loud. It's louder than a jet engine, and easily enough to burst your eardrums.
Yeah, but that's not going to kill you.
Well, and so there's discussion, maybe not serious discussion, about whether a sperm whale's click could be powerful enough to actually, destroy a human and, yeah. So, or whether they
sonic
actually
pulverization via whale.
Yes, that's right. So it's a theoretical.
Lower on my list.
Wait,
well, and
we took off dying in your sleep and left getting clicked to death by a sperm whale.
Well, I removed dying in your sleep because that's clearly the best choice. That's the way to go if you got to go. So, so
that's how most learn it from a layman.
That's right.
That's how most learn it from a layman fans go.
That's right. They nod off about 3/4 of the way through, and then our drivel just drives it home.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Stampede sounds fun.
What?
I think he's thinking like the running of the bulls style.
Yeah, that's right.
Or like Lion King, like
that
very
wasn't
majestic.
Fun.
Well, majestic in a way, like I don't know. I could dig, like Elephant Stampede or something.
Elephant Stampede would probably be preferable to say, like a Antelope Stampede. Or
Do elephants stampede?
They do in Jungle Book.
That's right. There you go.
Based on a true story.
Yes, it is.
Okay, but we haven't discussed dying by fall. And that, once again, that seems like if it's a high enough fall, maybe you pass out before you hit, right?
Well, it's probably not. Never mind. I'm going to retract what I said. It was going in a dark place.
Okay. All right.
This whole podcast is in a dark place.
Yeah. So once again, I think. What was that, Johnny?
I said this was darker.
Oh, okay.
Whoa.
We have to consider the epic nature of the death as well. Again, as we did in the first podcast, worst ways to die. This being the best ways to die. It has to be epic. So being clicked to death, being
the first documented death.
Exactly.
So you want people to tell the story of your magnificent immolation.
Yeah, but I mean, it goes both ways. A lot of these could be, wow, this is the only idiot to ever get killed by,
That's right. Well, that's kind of what happened with Aeschylus. So I'll go ahead and give you guys the rest of the story. So Aeschylus, so here's the story. He, as far as I understand it, an actual Greek figure. He participated in some of the battles of, I think, around Marathon and some of those against Persians. Again, you'll have to fact check me on all of this. And then went on to become a playwright, I think. According to the story, he consulted the oracle at Delphi, which told him that he would die by something falling on his head. And from then on, he avoided being indoors so that, nothing would fall on his head. If you're outdoors, well, it's just the big blue sky above you, so you're good. But the story goes that an eagle flying had grabbed a tortoise and dropped it on his head, and that killed him. So
yeah, that would be there's that idiot that got killed by the thing rather than wow, that was
that's
epic.
Right. And I can actually vouch for this. It is actually documented that birds of prey will so turtles and tortoises, their shells are so hard and they're so well protected that, not easy prey, but there are birds that will grab a turtle or tortoise, and they'll fly up and they'll drop it, and so that to break the shell, and then they can eat it. We actually this happened in my own backyard. We inherited these 2 turtles, and we had them in an enclosure out back, and in the morning they were both there, and then we checked in the early afternoon, and one of them was gone. And there was no, they hadn't dug out, they couldn't climb out, so either someone randomly trespassed into our backyard, grabbed a turtle, one of the 2 turtles, and left, which is highly unlikely, or more likely, actually, we're certain a bird of prey came and snatched it and made off with it. So it happens. Anyways.
Well, I don't think we can rule out the fact that Johnny went to your house and stole 1 turtle.
I know Johnny knows Gilbert well, so that's right.
I sure do.
Okay, I've got my ranking. This is the definitive ranking.
Let's hear it. Okay.
So Johnny Suede, meteorite is the best way to die.
Also epic, and nobody's going to be like, hey, that idiot got hit with a meteor. It'd be like, God, that was insane.
Exactly. It's good all around. It's going to smoke a hole through you wherever it hits. So, you'll probably be out real quick.
Unless it's a dinosaur-style meteor strike, but meteorite. But we won't split hairs.
Yeah, that's true. Or will it? Or, the meteorite will do that.
The meteorite strike, by the way, there's also no documented examples of anyone dying by meteorite strike, unless you count the dinosaurs. But
Well, why?
Who's going to be there to document it? Everyone around is going to be dead too.
Yeah, depending on the size of the meteorite, I suppose.
Okay, so number 2, similar reasoning. Tortoise shell has got to be number 2. It sounds far less cool, but it is one of these, out of the blue, literally out of the blue. And you're done. So I'll take that.
Of, those Mario games where the turtles are flying and then falling through the air, and then Mario dies.
Yeah, that's right. Inspired by Greek history. Who knew?
Yeah.
Right. Okay, number 3 is volcano, which once again I get to define for myself as a river of lava. Which I will, if it works, great. If it doesn't, I'm Darth Vader. So, number 4 is the fall. I get to decide that the height is significant enough that I get to pass out. Okay. Number 5, freezing, because once again, a bit of a party, at least at the end. Number 6, stampede. They made a Disney movie based on this, so it's got to be pretty good.
That doesn't follow at all.
It's a very successful Disney movie.
Point of order.
Whatever.
All right, click.
If you were saving your son, then you might be remembered for that one.
There you go. See.
Yeah, but let's face it. If my son gets himself in a stampede, I'm going to pretty much tell him, "This is on you."
That tough love. Say, you got to learn from your mistakes.
It's not the type of thing that he's going to do accidentally. It's going to be, "Hey, Dad, watch this. I'm being dumb."
I'm gonna
the wildebeest.
What if Uncle Carl led him out there and said, "Hey, wait here for your dad. He'll be here soon."
I've taken measures to make sure that Carl. Never mind.
Be prepared.
Exactly.
Oh my. All right. Well, we now have the Learn It from a Layman Lion King remake in the works. So.
That's right.
Okay,
that would
so
be a fun one, like Shakespeare adaptations. Okay, we'll move on.
I cast Tim as the hyenas, all of them.
I could do that.
Okay.
Hyenas, by the way, are cooler than we think. We'll have to do an episode on hyenas.
Okay.
So many ideas.
Like I would much rather be taken by lions than hyenas. So, just saying.
Wait.
I'd say an interesting aside, but it's not interesting. Okay. What?
Question, Matt?
Well, I don't understand that. You would rather be taken by lions than hyenas because the lions aren't as cool?
Well, no, because of how they hunt. So lions are ambush predators. So it's all over in less than a minute, right?
Yeah.
Either they get you or they don't. Hyenas are persistence predators. So they will just run you down, and they're not particularly fast, but they just don't give up. And so they just keep chasing you. And so anyways, much more terrifying and grueling, not quick and relatively painless like lions, but also hyenas can break bones, so they can,
Well, they've just got everything going for them then.
That's right.
Okay. Number 7 is Clicked to Death, which actually sounds pretty horrendous, but I guess it at least has the benefit of being unique. So, and I like whales, so.
The whale doesn't like you.
Yeah.
Maybe it was an affectionate click and it just went wrong.
I'm pretty sure it wouldn't be.
Now I know why they're called sperm whales.
That's why there's no SeaWorld's sperm whale attraction.
It's been tried time.
Yes. Okay. Clicked it out. And number 8 is Rock Slide, which once again, lame, but not as lame as Jaguar, which is number 9, which once again, being killed by a cat, I wasn't a fan of it years ago in episode 1. I'm not a fan of it now.
And the what was it called? The gladiator scene, right?
Was it
episode 1 of, or is that episode 2? What do you mean killed by a cat?
Episode 1 of our podcast.
Oh, I thought you meant of Star Wars all of a sudden. I was like,
I thought you meant pod racing instead of podcast.
pod racing.
Right. Jaguar, and then number 10 is Dying by a Snake, because first of all, I'm not a snake hater, but I certainly don't want them touching me when I don't want them to touch me. And then the idea of one killing me and a python squeezing you until all your bones crack and you die, not ideal. So,
but in this case, you're giving permission to the snake to touch you because you're deciding.
That's right.
That's true. Well, still the bones cracking thing. That's yeah. No, not really.
Consensual snake death.
Snake.
Okay, that is my list.
Fun fact for you on Death by Python. I always thought that, the python, it squeezes you and like suffocates you because you can't like breathe. But actually, apparently, before you can get that far, it actually, the pressure triggers like cardiac arrest. And so they basically squeeze you into having a heart attack.
Oh. So. That doesn't sound fun.
I don't think that makes the ranking change for Carl.
Well, in that case,
we'll just keep it right there. Okay. So, anyone else want to do a ranking before Tim gives us his ranking, though probably less accurate than mine?
I I liked your ranking. I'd probably move dirt slide up a little bit because I feel like it would be quick.
You mean rock slide?
Rock slide, dirt slide. Yeah, that's the thing.
I mean,
Okay.
death by
Pixie.
mudslide, I'm sure is probably a thing, but which would be? I think I would take a mudslide death.
Really? Over
I think
rock
that
slide?
would be a lot more terrifying and prolonged than a rock slide death.
That's probably true, but I don't know.
Truth be told, all of these like elemental force deaths, you're probably like a tidal wave, a rock slide, a mudslide. It's probably not the actual element that's killing you, but all the stuff that it's causing to move, whamming into you. So,
all right.
Or do you mean just like a regular wave, Carl? Like a big wave in the ocean just smashes you into the reef and you die?
No, not that one.
Wave
Certainly
two.
not that one.
Or you could talk about like a sneaker wave. That's a little bit more interesting. Are you familiar with those?
What are those?
They're giant waves that appear out of nowhere and not often, but rarely take down ships.
Is that
wow.
like that? Right,
it's just a really big wave out of nowhere.
All right. Well, Tim, go ahead and give us your list.
Okay, so actually, Carl, your ranking followed mine very closely. I also chose meteorite strike as number 1. Tortoise shells follows number 2. Both of those being that they're happen so quickly as to be essentially painless, and also there's no dread beforehand. You don't know it's going to happen, so it's minimal. Granted, our pirates have already informed us. So
yeah.
Say again.
In this case, you would know.
So yeah, that's right. And the meteorite strike has an added benefit of the pirates would have a really tough time like arranging that, and so it might buy you a few extra days. So
I mean, why would they put it on the list if they couldn't arrange it, though, Tim?
Well, they're ambitious, and they're also, if you've ever met a pirate, they're not always the most well planned, and they probably just hashed together this list and didn't think through all the logistics. So I say you take them with it and you run with it. So yeah, meteorite strike definitely number 1. Okay. Tortoise shell fall number 2. My number 3 was fall. You put it at 4. I just did it mostly because you're again the actual pain would be relatively instantaneous. And the actual time you spend falling is not a lot. If you think about it, I mean, unless these pirates have like a really high flying, flying machine. I put, a blimp. That's right. Those homeopathic pirates and their blimps. I just switched your 3 and 4. I had fall first and then thrown to volcano, which I envision is kind of like a being sacrificed to the volcano, like hauled up to the caldera and thrown in, which, you hope would be relatively quick. But freezing at number 5, again, it's a bummer, but as far as the pain goes, it's, numbing by nature. Stampede for 6, rock slide for 7. I didn't have sperm whale click ranked, because I actually hadn't put it on the list since it's actually never been documented and likely wouldn't actually happen if you were, though I suppose if you got clicked by a sperm whale and it stunned you so bad it knocked you out, you would drown afterwards. But, that
Johnny almost did that once
with a sperm whale.
There were no sperm whales involved. Just adolescent brain.
Adolescent brain. Death by immaturity.
That is correct.
So and Jaguar at 9 and Python at 10. Jaguar out of all the big cats, because from what I've been told, they have a powerful bite, and I've actually read that they have the most powerful bite of any other big cat, and that apparently, like lots of big cats, they'll choke you out. They'll so once they take you down, they bite your neck and basically suffocate you. But jaguars can actually bite you at the base of the skull. And so, if you're choosing a big, picture. Yes,
so you can't feel yourself getting suffocated.
Yeah, that's right. So terrifying. if you have to choose a big cat to take you down, you could do worse than a jaguar. And then Python's already explained the means, but at least it's not like a lot of other predators where it really is horrifying the ways that some creatures eat others. So, anyways,
all right,
there you have it.
Quite the list, Tim.
So if you're ever captured by homeopathic pirates and who are bloodthirsty and take no prisoners, you will be prepared and you will know just what to do. Good luck.
Seems unlikely, but can't rule it out, which is what we specialize in and learning from a layman.
That's right. That could be our motto. You can't rule it out.
I think we've talked about a number of things that you can rule out. See our podcast on conspiracy theories, but whatever. Right. Consistency is also not a thing that we do.
That's right. Consistency is the hobgoblin of weak podcasts, as Emerson once said.
Did he say that?
On his podcast.
You can't rule it out.
Yeah, that's right. It was a podcast he did with Thoreau called, the Walden Lake podcast. They would sit down and talk.
Okay, well, that aside, I think we've demonstrated in this podcast that we've made progress over the last 100 episodes. We've literally gone from worst to best.
That's right.
All right. Well,
I don't know if any of us agree on that.
The audience now, legitimately though, when we released our first episode, we had my mom listening, and since then, now Johnny's mom listens as well.
That's right.
No, she doesn't. I would never tell her about this.
Johnny protects those he cares for.
Now, legitimately, we've got a lot of listeners all over the world, a lot in the United States, obviously, in the UK, India's overtaken the UK by leaps and bounds at this point. Lots of Europeans. So we appreciate everyone that listens and spreads our somewhat informational podcasts. And yeah, any final words of wisdom, Matt, Tim, or Johnny?
I think that's a little bit contrary to the nature of these podcasts.
It's like a quick calculus add addendum here just so people want to listen.
Well, that's another way that people have died, although I'm not sure it's naturally death by calculus.
Yeah.
That's true. Studying zero or something like that is highly correlates with death, I think.
Oh, well, what about like the calculus, the hard stuff that grows on your teeth? I'm sure somebody had so much that has built up and broke off and killed them by
really reaching here.
Natural lockjaw. That's
if that sperm whale was clicking them, it could have busted a piece off that strangulated.
Right.
That's right.
But I will just end by saying that, generally speaking, dying is not recommended and very, it's not a pleasant experience. So try to avoid those homeopathic pirates at all costs and, enjoy each day. So there you go.
Yeah. Yes. Positive way to end. Continue coming back and listening. We won't focus on ways to die anymore, at least until episode 200. But yeah, we'll be back again with our next podcast soon. And thanks. We'll see you in the new year.